Hello everyone. So, in today's video, I will introduce you to the city of Krakow. It is a city with a huge history, a bright atmosphere, and a very cozy old town. I will show you the best signs of the city center, share the history of the city, and give you a few important travel tips that are useful to know before visiting. My flight schedule quite comfortable, but I arrived after 6 in the evening, so my sightseeing day is planned for the time when I'm already in the city. That's why I start with the preparation part. Poland, it's a big and serious country in the center of Europe. Over the last decades, it has been growing and changing very actively. Almost 40 million people live here, and the country has a very interesting history. From a powerful kingdom that once covered huge territories to completely disappearing from the map for 123 years, and then coming back, rebuilding and modernizing. After World War II, the country needed a long time to recover from destruction, and already in 21st century, it's made a big leap forward. Industry, technology, infrastructure, all of it is growing very fast, and I can see these changes every time I visit Poland again. Maybe is it time to think about moving here? What do you think? But with all these changes, there is one stable thing in Poland: respect to its own culture and history. Musical tradition, literature, Catholic architecture, colorful markets, all of this is part of the Polish character. Sometimes, when I walk through the streets of Polish cities, it feels like there are many churches as supermarkets. Food for the body and food for the soul are both very popular here. I can't really say much about visiting all these churches, but I just know there's a lot of them. At the same time, Poland stays practical, clear, and comfortable for tourists. Prices are reasonable, public transport works well, logistics are well planned, and English sounds are everywhere. And in this country, there is a city that many people call its heart. Krakow is not just a beautiful city, it's the old capital of Poland, rich in history. The first settlements appeared here already in the 10th century, and in the Middle Ages, Krakow became one of the most developed cities in Europe. Polish kings were growing here, castles were built, and universities were opened. The city almost avoided major destruction during World War II, so its historic center looks almost the same as it did 100 years ago. This is rare for Europe, and that is why a walk around Krakow feels a bit like traveling in time. Narrow streets, huge main market square, historic buildings, Wawel Castle, trams ringing on the turns, all of these create such a lovely picture that you arrived and immediately feel you are in a beautiful mix of all European history and modern comfort with art, culture, and creative life everywhere. My visit is planned for 3 days. But let's be honest, I arrived late, I leave early, and I didn't not plan to spend all my time only filming. So I have only one full sightseeing day. That's why I decided to be as practical as possible. Prepare information in advance and plan a routine that lets me see the main places without running a marathon through the city center. We take the Norwegian idea of ikke stress as a base, and start from there. First, I figured out the logistic. Krakow Bailey's airport is around 11 kilometers from the city center. You just enter the airport and the city center in Google Maps and choose the best route. In my case, it was a bus number 300 or the SKA train. All details about transport can be checked on official public transport website www.mpk.krakow.pl. I will also leave the link of this website in the video description. And as it often happened, I prepared everything, but in the end, I didn't really need it. Outside was cold, dark, and foggy. I just called a taxi, threw the bolt up, and it took me directly to the door of my hotel. To be honest, when I travel, I often try to choose apartments instead of a hotel. Both options can be comfortable, but for me, morning coffee is secret. And I have already stayed in hotels where there was not even a kettle in the room. The possibility to cook something from local ingredients, it's not very important for me, but I still like to have everything I need close at hand. In Krakow, I found a great apartment style hotel. Each room here is like a small, fully and quiet apartment, and overall, I was more than satisfied. A large shower, comfortable bedroom, a charming wardrobe, and a living room where I wouldn't be embarrassed to invite my friends if I knew anyone here. I was especially charmed by the view from the window facing the castle. And this white window sills with a soft seat like a small sofa where you can slowly drink coffee and look out at the river. Mm, mm. My sightseeing walk started right by the Vistula River, which I could see from my window. It's quite wide and beautiful, reflects the winter sun. Along water is a neat walking path and a small park area. The Wisla is the main artery of Poland. For centuries, trade ships carrying salt, fabrics, and grain salted along this river. In Krakow, it also served as a natural defense and an important trade route. When you stand by water, and you can really feel the scale of history. Swans and ducks slowly swim along this river, and small floating restaurants gently move on the water. I really wanted to have my morning cappuccino there, but unfortunately, they only open after 12. Maybe tomorrow. On the other side of the river, a circus ride, and I can see large ferry wheel and a balloon rising into the sky with tourists inside. It looks very charming, and maybe it was to trying to see the city from a bird's eye view. And on the left side, there is something we definitely cannot miss. One of the high hills of the city, the Dragon's Den. According to the legend, many centuries ago, under the Wawel Hill lived a dragon. And not these cute fellows they put on the souvenirs now, it was a serious one. He ate people, cow, and was a kind danger neighbor. King Krak, the founder of the city, announced that who can defeat a dragon and save the city will get his daughter hand in marriage. Many brave guys tried. The dragon defeated everyone or just ignored them as mosquitoes. And then one day, just normal fellow, the shoemaker named Scuba appeared. Not a hero, not a prince from ballads, just a guy with a skillful hands. He stuffed the ship with sulfur like it was looks as a delicacy and dragon ate it. After a few minutes, just chemistry began. Dragon get thirsty, so thirsty he started to drink from the river until he bled. And it's how just shoemaker against the dragon. The king keep his word. Shoemaker become a hero, start live in a castle, married a princess, and a place where all of it happened. For now, I have a dragon metal statue which put a fire every few minutes. There is also an alternative story about two brothers who defied the dragon. They could not share the fame, and their argument turned into fight. Lezik killed Yasik to take the title of the dragon slayer. When he returned home, the truth came out. And locals did not accept this kind of heroism and drove Lezik away, leaving only the memory of Yasik, the real hero who never had the chance to tell his side of the story. In 1972, a dragon monument was placed near Wawel Hill. It breathes fire every 5 minutes. You can also make the dragon breathe fire by sending an SMS to number 7168 with the word smoke. That is Polish word for a dragon. We go up to Wawel Hill. This place was once the official royal residence. Polish kings lived, ruled, and got married in these halls. Here is a Wawel cathedral. They were crowned and burned. The castle architecture is a mix of different periods from medieval Gothic to Renaissance. For centuries, Wawel was the residence of Polish kings. Monarchs were crowned here, treasures were kept here, and political alliances were made. Even today, the castle is impressive because of its size. But it's important to remember that the castle was not for royal family. There were special rooms for powerful noble families, private apartments for consuls from friendly countries, office areas for ministers, and large space for servants who worked in the kitchens, stables, took care of whole complex. And it's a lot of space to carry on. Next, we walk along Gorodska Street. It leads to Wawel like a path from a fairy tale. In December, it looks like a real Pinterest. Lights everywhere, small Christmas trees, and cafe interiors and long shadows on the old stones. We turn into Kanoniczna Street, one of the oldest streets in Krakow. Every house here looks like it's saying, I have seen a historical times, but I'm still studying. Filming here is a real pleasure. Pope John Paul II lived on Kanoniska Street before he became the Pope. It's a quiet and modest street, but with a very rich history. The souvenir shops here are surprisingly interesting. One small shop full of toys, including handmade ones, really stirred in my heart. And along this narrow street, stopping to look in the local shops, I slowly make my way to the main square. In the center of the square, there is close hall building. It was built as a trading road, and if you go inside, you'll see a market with a lots of goods and souvenirs for every taste. Their ethnographic museum is also here. These trading roads have been studying for several centuries. Inside, there are craftsmen, souvenirs, amber, works of local artists, and of course, little dragons, the city main souvenir. In the Middle Ages, people traded fabrics here. It was a covered market where sellers from different countries sold their goods, from English wool to spices from the East. Today, it's a tourist market. You can buy handmade items, amber jewelry, carved chess sets, polished ceramic, and lots of souvenirs. But don't just look at the small things, check out the more serious crafts too. Look up and you will see old arches and craft decoration on the walls and selling their coat of arms of Polish cities and trade guilds. These are not just decorations, they remind us of the people who traded here for centuries and helped build Krakow's economy. Each coat of arms is like a business card of the city or the guilds that had the right to trade in these walls. The building survived fires, reconstructions, and even times when people thought it should be rebuilt in the neo Renaissance style. But it survived and became one of the symbols of this city. Right outside this building, we are greeted by a busy Christmas market. This is the heart of winter in Krakow. Here you can buy everything from gingerbread painted like a museum pieces to hot Osipek cheese with cranberries. It looks strange, sounds strange, but tastes even better than I expected. The market is surprisingly big and spacious, much bigger than one in Oslo. You can find video of that on my channel. I would divide everything here into two parts: souvenirs on the right and food on the left. During the day, it's just beautiful, but in the dark, everything turns in a real Christmas movie. Warm lights, garlands above your head, the glow of the shop windows, and music coming either from street musicians or just from the atmosphere. The air smells like a cinnamon, smoke, and sweets, and around are dozens of small wooden houses with toys, carved angels, ceramic, and handmade decoration. They look like they were brought straight from the grandma's attic. And of course, what kind of market would it be without food, right? Not at all. So we move into the stalls where life is buzzing and grills are sizzling. Sweet, salty, hot, smoked, there is a bit of everything, and this is exactly what creates the winter atmosphere you cannot imagine December in Poland without. Now, let's see what tasty things they have prepared for us. As our day in Krakow came to end, the city seemed even quieter and softer, like it was sitting under the snowy blanket. We got to feel the spirit of Christmas in the old streets, in the market lights, and in the legends that have lived here for hundreds of years. Thank you for spending this day with me. I hope you also felt the atmosphere and got your little bit of holiday mood. If you enjoyed traveling with me through Winter Krakow, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and write the comments. What do you like the most? Have you been before to Krakow? Would you like to come here? I'm very happy to see each of you and I'm ready preparing new trips for you. See you in the next video.